Manchester United kick off their Europa League knockout campaign with a trip to Russia this Thursday to face FC Rostov. It was always going to be a tricky time for Man United. We've got Chelsea in the FA Cup 4 days later at Stamford Bridge, Jose Mourinho's old team, so he's got one eye on that. And just a round trip to Russia is never going to be a fun thing. Only 238 Reds have gone out there to support the team. Fair play to them. I don't know how they can afford that after aways against Blackburn, St Etienne and Wembley. But it's going to be a tough game for Manchester United, at least not because of the pitch. As you can see here, the pitch is in a sorry state. Jose Mourinho is furious that the pitch is in this bad a condition. And if you look here at the video, look how high the ball bounces when Marcus Rojo bounces the ball. Look how much bobble there is when Daley Blind passes the ball, when the players are just passing the ball in practice. It's going to be a hard game for Manchester United, and this pitch is not making it any easier. You could hardly play cricket on it. So I understand why Mourinho's furious, because you've got Man United players. You know, I'm now saying, why has Henrik Mkhitaryan even gone out there? Because obviously he's not going to play on that pitch. At least he shouldn't. Whether or not he plays is something different altogether. Might explain why Luke Shaw's not out there at all. But I'm a little bit taken aback by how surprised Mourinho is at the pitch. You're playing in Russia. The pitch is always going to be bad. Surely Man United would have known that before we flew out there. But by the sounds of it, we didn't expect it to be that bad. And I suppose if you take a look at pictures back in October when they played on the pitch, it was in good condition. But obviously the winter came through and savaged it. And now Man United have got to deal with it. Now the biggest concern isn't coming away from Rostov with a comfortable lead. It's coming away from Rostov with no serious injuries. Because, you know, the likes of Pogba's out there, Ibrahimovic is out there, all our main players are there. Maybe Rooney's not there and Shaw's not there. But it's a full-strength team. And the last thing that Mourinho will want is for players to get injured going into March, going into April, the run-in of the season, the business end of the campaign. But we've now got to deal with it. So I think now the focus of this Rostov game is to make sure we come back to Old Trafford still in the tie. You know, a 1-0 lead will be perfect. Even a draw will be fine, because we're going to be heavy favourites going into that match at Old Trafford. And the focus for Mourinho now and the squad is simply to avoid injuries. You know, and because of that, I think it's going to be a pretty poor game for the neutral. You know, it wasn't incredible when we played Zorya Luhansk earlier this season, and I don't think it's going to be incredible in this match either. I think it's going to be gritty. It's not going to be much fluid football because the pitch doesn't allow it. But we can't use that as too much of an excuse because we're playing Rostov. So I do expect Man United to win this, but I'm going to go for, as I say, an uninspiring 1-0 win for the neutrals, but a perfect result for Manchester United. What we need here is no big injuries to any player, and just to hopefully hold a slender lead going back into that game at Old Trafford, where we should be heavy favourites and we should win the game. But let me know what your prediction for the match is. How do you think Man United will get on? Will we win in Russia, or is it going to be from Russia without love? I hadn't even practiced that. I'm sorry for the shit joke. But as I said, let me know your predictions in the comments below. As always, drop a like on the video and make sure you check out our preferred starting 11. We run through the team that we think Jose Mourinho is going to play.